Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Saradnan Rauf. This is history subject 20591 and the chapter is the religious reformers in India 18th and 19th century. The topic is Shah Waliullah. Shah Waliullah was one of the three religious reformers in India who tried to reform the Indian society and who tried to correct the beliefs of the Muslims of subcontinent at that time. These three religious reformers were Shah Waliullah, Sayyid Ahmad Shahid, and Haji Shariatullah. Shah Waliullah is considered to be the most important religious reformer because one of the reason is he was the early reformer and his writings spread the message of Islam not only in the subcontinent but outside the subcontinent in different other countries. The objectives of today's topic are that at the end of the topic the students will be able to evaluate the achievements of Shah Waliullah, and the students will also be able to identify the beliefs of Shah Waliullah about the downfall of Muslim society in the subcontinent at that time. The early life and biography of Shah Waliullah is that he was born in Delhi in 1703 and his real name was Qutbuddin. The father name of Shah Waliullah was Shah Abdur Rahim, and his father was also a religious scholar in India at that time. He was considered to be a theologian and Sufi of his time. So his father founded a madrasa which name was Madrasa Rahimia. On the name of his father, the name of madrasa was given. The madrasa was established in Delhi, and Shah Abdur Rahim is also famous because he contributed in writing one of the famous book of that time, Fatawa Alamgiri, in which there were the answer of some of the religious questions. Shah Waliullah received his early academic education from his father because his father was already a religious scholar. So the best education he could receive was from his father at that time. Shah Waliullah learnt the Holy Quran by heart and then some education of Hadith, Tafsir Quran, spiritualism, and other religious sciences. So he received from Madrasa Rahimiyya from his father, and then he thought that still he needed some further education, and for this reason Shah Waliullah tried to achieve further education. He mastered in Hadith and Islamic jurisprudence, which is the Islamic law. He also studied medicine and Tib. Tib means the Eastern medicine, uh, you know, the knowledge of Eastern medicine he got. So he studied the Tib and medicine. When his father died in 1718, so he had a very heavy responsibility on his shoulder to run Madrasa Rahimiyya. Then in 1724, for further and higher education, he traveled to Saudi Arabia. And in Saudi Arabia, Shah Waliullah met a very influential personality. His name was Sheikh Abu Tahir bin Ibrahim. So as Shah Waliullah had traveled from India to Saudi Arabia, therefore there was difference of belief of Indian Muslims and the Muslims of Saudi Arabia at that time. So Sheikh Abu Tahir bin Ibrahim he formulated and he formulated the ideas and ideologies of Shah Waliullah about the religion at that time. So Shah Waliullah studied at Medina and he obtained the degree in Hadith. Now Shah Waliullah was fully equipped with the religious knowledge which he could use to spread Islam in the subcontinent. Shah Waliullah returned Delhi in July 1732, and after returning Delhi, he then taught at madrasa of his father for 12 years. And he started to write books, he started to spread Islam and the message of Islam in different communities of India at that time. Shah Waliullah was a very influential personality because when he came back to India from Saudi Arabia, then by his intuition and by his insight, he was able to identify the causes of downfall of the Muslims in India, because it was the time when Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II was ruling, and there were uprisings from Marathas and some other non-Muslim communities. Hindus and British were also there who were trying to frustrate the Muslims at that time. So the Muslims of India were very much frustrated and feeling uh, insulted in this environment. So Shah Waliullah identified that Muslims are suffering from downfall because of the following reasons, which are called the beliefs of Shah Waliullah. One of the main reason he identified was that the Muslims do not read Quran with the translation. So they recite the Quran but they do not know what is the real message of Quran because they don't understand the Arabic language. Therefore, it is difficult for the Muslims to learn the message of Quran. So there is need for the Muslims to learn what the Quran is demanding to the Muslims. Number two, he believed that at that time, if the Muslims have to rise from ashes to the sky, then Muslims will have to be united by removing their sectarian differences, because at that time the Muslims were divided into different sectarian groups, and the major sectarian groups at that time were Shia and Sunnis. So Shah Waliullah tried to unite Shia and Sunnis to fight against the oppression of the British and Hindus and Sikh also. Before Shah Waliullah, there had been a religious personality in India, a very famous religious scholar, Sheikh Ahmad Sarandi, who had somehow extremist attitude about the Shias. It was the time of Aurangzeb Alamgir before 1707, before his death. So Sheikh Ahmad Sarandi had very much aggressive and extremist attitude against Shias. Therefore, this division between Shias and Sunnis were very much wide at that time, and they both were terming each other as non-Muslim. Therefore, Shah Waliullah tried to close Sunnis and Shias together by writing some very important books to remove misunderstanding from the minds of Shias about the Sunni beliefs and for Sunni beliefs about Shia beliefs. He also identified that heavy taxation on peasants, merchants, and workers. These heavy taxations have put them under pressure, and already these are the poor people, and it is difficult to live to make both ends meet after paying these heavy taxes. So he knew that unless Muslims raise their voice against these injustices, they cannot come out of the trouble. Therefore, the Shah Waliullah, he tried to make some plans to get the Muslims out of this, uh, you know, bad condition and bad social situation. He also identified the reason of Muslim downfall, which was Islamic principles of morality and spirituality were away from the Muslims, and Muslims were away from them. So, in order to create a good Muslim society, it was very important for the Muslims to be moral and to show the spirituality which Islam teaches to the people. And he also identified one of his belief was that Muslims should practice Islamic principles in all walk of life, such as economy, politics, and social matters, So unless the Muslims adopt the Islamic principles in different fields, so Muslims cannot be prominent and they cannot be, you can say, successful in different walks of life. So these were the beliefs of Shah Waliullah, which Shah Waliullah identified the problems for the Indian Muslims, which he thought were the reasons of downfall of the Muslims. Then Shah Waliullah started to work on it, and Shah Waliullah started to correct the Muslim society at that time. And these achievements of Shah Waliullah are called his works. Now let's have a look on the works of Shah Waliullah. After identifying all these things and observing the condition of Muslims in subcontinent, Shah Waliullah founded a movement which is called the Revival Movement for Islam. The word revive means to relive something or to re-enliven something, to give life to something again. Therefore, he named this movement as Revival Movement because this was the time to revive Islam and to uh, keep Islam alive. Therefore, he founded this movement, and in this movement, he taught and preached the basic, true, and pure meaning of Islam. So he, by his messages to different people and by his writings, first of all, he tried to correct the ideology of the Muslims, the un-Islamic practices which were very strongly inherited by the Muslims. So he first tried that the Muslims should get rid of these un-Islamic practices and they should come towards the true religion and true practices of Islam, which have been prescribed by Quran and Hadith only. So he wanted the Muslims not to be involved in useless and frivolous rituals which are making the Islamic society useless, but he tried the Muslims to follow the Quran and Sunnah and the real teachings of Quran and Sunnah. And he knew that unless the ideology and the beliefs of the Muslims are corrected, they cannot go on the true path. As we have discussed earlier, that Shah Waliullah had identified that the Muslims recite Quran but they do not know the Arabic language, and at that time there was no any such translation in the local language which could benefit the Muslims to understand the message of Islam. Therefore, Shah Waliullah took this responsibility to himself and then he translated the Holy Quran in Persian language. Persian language was the local language at that time. Urdu was not very much developed, and still local people understood Persian language more than Sanskrit language, which was the language of Hindus at that time. So we can say that the Persian language was borrowed by the Muslims of India from Iran because Muslims did not want to use the Sanskrit language, which was the language of Hindus. Moreover, Muslims did not have any any language which the Muslims of India could claim to be their own language. The Urdu was developed later on, therefore he translated Quran in Persian language for the local people to understand the Persian language and the message of Quran in Persian language. Then we know that Persian language was very famous at that time and very much common. Even the Mughal emperors used to write poetry and other books in Persian languages. Then Shah Waliullah is one of those religious reformers, or we can say in India he was the first one who emphasized on the need of ijtihad, and he said that it is better for the Muslims rather to follow some principles, some rituals blindly, that the Muslims should do ijtihad, Muslim scholars should sit together to find out the answer of any query, any question from Quran and Hadith. And if that is not in Quran and Hadith, then the ijtihad is one of the way which could, uh, you know, save the Muslims from the blind taqleed, blind following. So then, this was also an achievement of Shah Waliullah, that he discouraged the blind taqleed, and he emphasized the need of ijtihad at that time. Shah Waliullah wrote 51 books, 23 books he wrote in Arabic, and 28 books he wrote in Persian language. You can see that the number of books written in Persian language is higher because the common people at that time used to read Persian language, used to read books in Persian language, and were understanding Persian language than any other language. The most famous books of Shah Waliullah were the Hujjatullah al-Baligha and Izalat Ikhfa. These two books are famous because these two books contributed much in reviving Islam in the society at that time. The Hujjatullah al-Baligha is a very famous book, and this is this has been translated in Urdu as well, and his other books have also been translated. The other book, Izalat Ikhfa, is also very famous. The complete name of this book is Izalat Ikhfa an Khalifatul Khalifa, and this book is famous because this is the book in which he uh, wrote about Khulafai Rashidin, about the four pious caliphs, and by writing this book, he tried to remove the Shia and Sunni sectarian differences. So, in this book, he explained that the Sunni Muslims respect the fourth caliph very much, and the Sunni Muslims are not against, uh, you know, the works and teaching of the fourth caliph. So, therefore, by writing his this book, he tried to bring the Shia group closer to the Sunni group, and he was somehow successful in his these efforts by writing this book Izalat Ikhfa an Khalifatul Khalifa. Now, the works of Shah Waliullah are still continued. Then he wrote some letters to the people of different walk of life in the subcontinent. He wrote the letters to the soldiers of the Mughal Empire and asked them to have a spirit of jihad within them. Like, he guided the soldiers not to fight for the country and not to fight for the for empire, but the Muslim soldiers should fight for Allah. Then he wrote letters to the artisans, the workers, and peasants, and he reminded them that they should contribute to the national economy, and they should, by earning money, they should spend money for the welfare of the society also. Like, they should make the Muslim society better by spending money on the developmental works for them. Shah Waliullah was keenly observing the system of the Mughal Empire at that time. So, as I have told you that Shah Alam II was the emperor who was, ruling India at that time. So he also asked Shah Alam II to, you know, uh, to correct the society and to remove the corruption from the society which the Mughal officials were involved in. Then he wrote letter to common people and asked the common people to, uh, you know, perform their duties well and not to indulge in collecting wealth. Like, he asked the common people not to waste and utilize the whole time in earning money, but the Muslims of India should take some time to correct the society and to work for the welfare of the other Muslims as well. Shah Waliullah also emphasized on the need of social justice. He said that the society in which there is no social justice, then the society cannot be a good society. Therefore, he wrote to the judges also that they should do social justice and should have fear of Allah, and he stressed the need of social justice in India at that time. Shah Waliullah was seeing that the Marathas who were Hindus, so they were trying to capture Delhi and they were trying to remove and dethrone Shah Alam II at that time. There was no any stronger Muslim at that time who could stop Marathas and who could defeat Marathas. Therefore, Shah Waliullah wrote letter to Ahmad Shah Abdali, who was in Persia at that time, the Muslim army general and the Muslim king also, that Ahmad Shah Abdali should come to India to stop Marathas from capturing Delhi and from dethroning Shah Alam II. Then Ahmad Shah Abdali came to India, and in 1761 there was a battle which was fought between Ahmad Shah Abdali and the Maratha leader who was Sadashivrao Bahu, and then Ahmad Shah Abdali defeated the Maratha leader, and the power of Marathas was weakened at that time very much when Ahmad Shah Abdali defeated the Maratha leader. It was the last battle of Panipat, or the third battle of Panipat, in which Maratha leader was defeated. There are some coins of Mughal emperor, and the coins of the same time when Shah Waliullah was trying to convey his message to the Muslims. These were the coins which were issued by Shah Alam to the Mughal emperor. So Shah Waliullah, he did a lot of efforts to correct the Muslim society and to make the Muslims stronger at that time. This map shows you that how Marathas were in the center of India, which is called Hyderabad Deccan or the Deccan Plateau, and then how here in at the Battle of Panipat, the Marathas were stronger and they had come to capture Delhi. They had made their base very close to Delhi to capture and to remove the Mughal Empire. Now let's see what's the importance of the works of Shah Waliullah. The works of Shah Waliullah were very important because he was the first Muslim thinker who identified the weaknesses of the Muslim, and he also suggested the treatment to cure the Muslim society from the malpractices at that time. And then we see that his mother Rahimia also continued to teach the Islamic principles, because after Shah Waliullah, his sons Shah Abdul Qadir and Shah Abdul Rafi, Shah Abdul Aziz also. So they taught at the same Madrasa Rahimia, and they continued the legacy of their father which Shah Waliullah had left. So the sons of Shah Waliullah translated the Holy Quran in Urdu language, because Urdu language was almost developed at that time. So this is also a biggest contribution of the sons of Shah Waliullah, that they translated Quran in Urdu, which was previously translated by Shah Waliullah in Persian language. He wrote wide range of Persian books to correct the beliefs of the Muslims and the people at that time, and also he tried to curb the sectarian violence and sectarian differences between Shia and Sunni, and he wanted the Muslims to be united against the evils at that time first. by removing differences within them. He also put emphasis on the importance of jihad. Although Shah Waliullah did not practically uh, go to the battlefield like Sayyid Ahmad Shahid, but he stressed and emphasized on the need of jihad, as we see that he had invited Ahmad Shah Abdali from Persia to defeat the Marathas. It means he had the spirit of jihad, and he was knowing that the Muslims should not only be involved in performing just religious duties and should leave jihad, but he also emphasized that jihad is also very important for the Muslims if they want to prosper and if they want to make themselves prominent in any society. So, therefore, the works of Shah Waliullah are considered to be the most important. These were the important facts which we have learnt about Shah Waliullah. Now, the recap is there, what we have done in this topic and what we have discussed in this topic. Shah Waliullah was born in Delhi and founded revival movement. He tried to reform society by reforming emperor and common people. Shah Waliullah tried to remove sectarian differences also by writing some books, the sectarian differences between Shia and Sunnis. He wrote books and also confronted the Marathas by inviting Ahmad Shah Abdali to defeat Marathas at Panipat. Now let's see what can be the possible assessment questions from this topic. So the possible assessment questions from this topic are: a 4 mark question is who was Ahmad Shah Abdali, or describe the Battle of Panipat 1761. 7 marks question can be why did Shah Waliullah found the revival movement, and the other 7 marks question is why was the work of Shah Waliullah important in spreading Islam in the subcontinent. There is no 14 marks question because so far today we have only discussed one religious reformer. In 14 marks question, usually the question is about the success and failure of the or the comparison between the three religious reformers, Shah Waliullah, Sayyid Ahmad Shahid and Haji Shariatullah. But more possibly there can be one more 14 marks question, which is how successful was Shah Waliullah in spreading Islam and conveying his message to the Muslims of India. So in this we will or we can write the successes and failures of Shah Waliullah. So this can be a 14 marks question, but so far this question has not been seen in the past papers, has not been given in the past papers. So more possible questions are the questions which are mentioned here in the possible assessment questions. Jazakallah. See you with the next topic. Till then, Allah Hafiz.